Welcome, kind traveler. Tonight, we're taking another quiet step into the past. Perhaps you're already lying down, eyes heavy, or maybe you're listening while your thoughts gently slow. However you found your way here, I'm grateful. I often smile when I imagine this story floating softly across the world, reaching you in your own corner of the night. And if these journeys into history bring you peace, I invite you to stay. There are many more nights ahead, with many more stories waiting to unfold. What I'm about to share may sound like fiction, the kind of tale spun by poets or playwrights, yet it is grounded in the chronicles of the past. It's about a woman whose journey seems almost impossible, a woman who began in society's shadows and rose to become empress of the greatest state of her age. Her name in this telling is Cassia. By the time her life ended, she had reshaped the empire beside her husband. But to understand her rise, we need to begin in the places respectable society pretended did not exist. The year is around 500 AD. Imagine the city of Orion, capital of the Eastern Empire. The sun glints on gilded domes, the air is filled with church bells and incense. Merchants crowd its markets with silks from China, spices from India, furs from the north. Ambassadors in bright robes carry gifts for the emperor, hoping to secure trade or peace. Orion is a city of 7 hills, crowned by palaces, churches, and monuments that echo Rome's ancient glory. At its heart lies the imperial palace complex, gardens, fountains, golden halls, a world within a world. But there is another side to Orion. In the entertainment district just beyond the racing grounds, life looks very different. Here, narrow alleys smell of wine, roasted meat, and smoke. Crowds pour into taverns and theaters. Music drifts from open doors, laughter bursts out, and sometimes brawls spill into the streets. It's here that Cassia's life begins. Cassia's father, Marcus the Beast Keeper, works for the Green faction at the great racing arena. To understand this role, you must know what the factions mean in Orion. They aren't just sports clubs. The Blues and the Greens command loyalty like political parties, with their own networks, supporters, and influence. Riots have been sparked in their names. Emperors rise and fall by their favor. But Marcus's job sits far from glory. He tends the bears used in spectacles between races, dangerous, filthy work. He must feed and train them, hoping they don't turn on him or the crowd. For this, he earns just enough to keep his family fed. When Marcus dies suddenly, the family's fragile stability collapses. Cassia's mother is left with 3 daughters and no means of support. Desperate, she makes a choice that will shape the rest of Cassia's life. She sends her girls to the stage. In 6th century Orion, actresses are not celebrated stars. They are regarded as barely a step above prostitutes. Their performances are bawdy comedies, filled with crude jokes and suggestive gestures. Patrons often expect favors after the show. Cassia begins as a helper, carrying costumes and props for her older sisters. But soon she takes the stage herself. Chroniclers later describe her as strikingly beautiful, yet her true gift is not beauty, it is intelligence. While other performers chase applause, Cassia studies the audience. She notices which wealthy men are followed by entourages, and which laugh too loudly to hide insecurity. She observes which priests condemn the theater by day and attend in secret by night. The theater becomes her education. She learns fragments of Greek and Latin from traveling performers, overhears debates about theology, and picks up rumors of politics. Piece by piece, she builds a mental map of how power really works. Still, the theater has limits. Cassia knows she must aim higher if she is to escape the life she was born into. Her chance comes when she meets Hilarin, a provincial governor posted to North Africa. He takes her as his companion, and for the first time, Cassia tastes wealth. She lives in a governor's palace, wears silk robes, and is attended by servants. But luxury is fragile. Hilarin is cruel, and when his temper turns, he casts her out. Alone, stranded in a foreign land, Cassia has no family, no money, no protection. For most women in her position, the story would end here. But Cassia does not break. Instead, she reinvents herself. She travels east to Alexandros, one of the world's great centers of learning. Here, scholars debate in marketplaces, priests argue in churches, and travelers from across the empire share their ideas. In Alexandros, Cassia encounters the Monophysite Christians, who believe Christ has only one divine nature. The empire considers them heretics, but among them she finds community, friendship, and something more. For the first time, her intelligence is welcomed. She engages in debate, learns theology, and discovers a sense of spiritual purpose. The experience transforms her. She returns to Orion not as a discarded actress, but as a woman with conviction, allies, and the unshakable belief that she is destined for greatness. At this time, a rising official named Jovian Sabastros is gaining influence. Brilliant in law, devout in faith, ambitious to restore the empire's former glory, he is admired but not yet secure. When he meets Cassia, something extraordinary happens. Chroniclers describe his fascination as immediate, but unlike others, Jovian doesn't just see her beauty, he sees her mind. Their bond grows into love, but one obstacle looms. Imperial law forbids senators from marrying former actresses. Without marriage, Cassia can never be more than a mistress. Jovian refuses to accept this. Together, they launch a quiet campaign. Cassia transforms her image. She lives conspicuously as a woman of virtue, charitable, devout, surrounded by scholars. Her allies whisper arguments of forgiveness and redemption into the ears of officials. Why should past mistakes bar a soul from grace? Why should Christianity deny transformation? At last, in 525, Emperor Justin issues a decree. Reformed actresses may marry into the senatorial class. Everyone knows the law is written for one reason, to allow Jovian to marry Cassia. Their wedding in the Grand Church of Holy Sophia is a thunderclap. Cassia, once dismissed as a stage girl, walks down the aisle in imperial purple. From that day forward, she is not merely his wife. She is his partner in rule. When Justin dies and Jovian becomes emperor, Cassia becomes empress. Nobles sneer at her origins, but she builds her own court. She holds audiences, receives petitions, and shapes policy. Her presence is unmistakable. Anyone who wishes to succeed in Jovian's empire must seek her approval as much as his. And then comes the test that will define them both. In 532, chants of victory at the circus spiral into open rebellion. Within days, half of Orion is in flames. Rioters proclaim a new emperor. The palace trembles as crowds surge toward its gates. Jovian's advisors urge him to flee. Even he wavers, preparing for escape. And then Cassia rises. Her words still echo through history. "You speak of flight," she says, "but a throne is not a cloak to be set aside at will. If you wish to go, go, but I will remain. For me, the purple is the noblest of shrouds." The chamber falls silent. Her courage shames the men around her. Jovian finds his resolve. Orders are given. Troops storm the hippodrome where the rebels are gathered. The exits are sealed. In a single, brutal strike, 30,000 rioters are cut down. The revolt ends in an afternoon. From that moment, no one doubts Cassia's place on the throne. She is empress in truth, not just in title. She pushes for reforms that protect women from exploitation. She founds homes for orphans and shelters for the vulnerable. She champions the Monophysite Christians, offering them protection when others persecute them. Her early life, the theater, the exile, the survival, gave her clarity few rulers ever possessed. She knew power because she had seen its raw edges. Cassia dies in 548, still empress, still at Jovian's side. The empire she shaped would endure for centuries, and her story remains a reminder that destiny is not fixed by birth, but forged by courage, resilience, and vision. So as you rest tonight, Perhaps you carry a little of Cash's lesson with you, that the past does not bind you, that even the harshest beginnings can lead to unexpected triumphs, and that sometimes the quiet strength to stand firm changes not just a life, but an empire. Sleep well, gentle listener, until our next journey.